Hi, I'm Kim Cook from Bread of Life Mission, and we are back. I'm getting signals here. We're back with Conversations on a Bench, and I'm here with Mark Garcia from Salvation Army, and you're the executive director, right?
Correct, of operations for our Seattle Social Services unit. Yeah.
Great. Tell me what that means. Like, what do you guys do?
We, I help oversee and operate a variety of programs for the Salvation Army's Northwest Division. The division itself spans all of Washington State, northern Idaho, and most of western Montana.
That's kind of a big district.
It is a pretty big division, and we're actually part of a greater territory that spans, kind of like the Rockies west, all the way to kind of the outer islands of the Pacific.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so it's the Salvation Army is an international organization. We are officially headquartered in London, but we're in over 130 different countries officially, providing hope and healing to anyone we can give it to.
Yeah, we do a lot of the same work, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if you know this, but Citygate, we're part of Citygate Network, which is more than 300 rescue missions in North America. It's an association. But Citygate, Salvation Army, and Teen Challenge are working together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because we really want to bring, come together on our outcomes.
Yes.
So when we go to D.C. and we say, we're doing this great work, that there's numbers behind it.
No, absolutely. Strength in numbers, right?
Yeah, right?
And especially in an environment like D.C., it makes for a louder voice, more of a seat at the table.
Yeah, I think a few years ago, people in D.C. were saying, well, it's all government. Yeah. Government's the one that's taking care of homelessness, and we're doing 90% of the work. And there was a study that came out from Baylor University. Were you aware of that?
No.
This was pre-COVID.
Okay.
But there was a study that came out that studied 14 cities across the country.
Yeah.
And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it showed that we were doing, 50 to 80% of shelter beds were actually religious nonprofits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely different narrative, right?
Yeah.
I think the faith-based nonprofits, both of which the Salvation Army and Bread of Life are, like many nonprofits, but maybe faith-based especially so, we sometimes fly under the radar a little too much.
Yeah.
So, moments like these are incredible to gain exposure for the great work we do.
People don't always understand religious nonprofits. They think that we coerce people and all that, and that could not be further from the truth for us. Talk to me about what it means to be in this work.
Yeah.
And the motivation that we have through our faith.
No, absolutely.
What that
means. For me on a personal level, Kim, it means everything, right? It's why I'm here. I personally wanted to align sort of my faith and my profession to create sort of that unique purpose that, I learned a lot in my previous lives, previous careers, but to be able to land at a place like the Salvation Army, to live out my faith on a day-to-day basis is incredible, right? I think I took a look, and Bread of Life's mission is to just offer hope and healing to the homelessness in challenge in Seattle with a Christ-centered approach, right? The Salvation Army's mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, to meet human needs in His name without discrimination.
Right.
And I think, to your point, people sometimes have this misconception that there's all these kinds of gating criteria to get through our doors to get the help. We're here to help everyone because, from our faith standpoint, God created everyone, right? And so it's just our job to love on everyone, offer everybody hope without, again, discrimination, and by doing so, I think we're living authentically to our purpose and our missions.
Yeah. I really say that it's more about why we do what we do than what we do. Although it's pretty important what we do too.
Absolutely.
But it's really why.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was, I was in the business world, and I just felt called to serve God in my, in some way in ministry. And I really feel like God started putting people in front of me who were homeless.
Absolutely.
And going, what are you going to do about this?
Absolutely.
And I could not just say, well, somebody else's problem.
Exactly.
I had to decide how I was going to
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah.
And it was like specific situations
Uh-huh.
where I had to go, uh-oh, what do
Not-
I do?
This isn't happenstance or randomness,
Yeah.
right? It's really the spirit moving in you. And
Yeah.
my journey was sort of very similar. I moved up from California to Washington State to work for Microsoft, like so many of us do. Great company, great organization, does a lot of good work through their employees and their corporate endeavors. But similar experience for me. The Holy Spirit was moving, and I was getting those little signs and being like, hey, you know what? There might be a different path for you, above and beyond sort of earning the biggest paycheck sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It came to a point where I couldn't be content working in business anymore. I won't say what business it was, but I felt like, yes, if I shut a plant down because I made a mistake, it was a bad thing.
Yep.
But nobody was going to die.
Yeah,
And,
correct.
and all of a sudden, I found myself in a business where people were dying if
Yeah.
I didn't do my job.
Yeah. What greater motivation, right?
I know.
Than that.
I know.
So,
And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a social services background. So it was kind of cool because I came at it from a different perspective
absolutely.
than the people who were just in that
Absolutely.
world all the time.
Yeah, you brought that different perspective to the table. That corporate knowledge, while not perfect, right? There's a lot of best practices there
Right.
that the nonprofit space can learn from, and frankly, vice versa. So, I'm sure the Bread of Life mission is blessed to have you.
Well, thank you. I always say that nonprofits are like, we have to run like a business. We just have to do what we do and go out and raise the money
Absolutely.
to do it
Absolutely.
instead of making it off of what we're doing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's a challenge because you're kind of equal parts salesman in a sense,
Right.
but then operator as well.
Yeah. So tell me more about what Salvation Army's doing here in the
Yeah,
Seattle
no,
area,
we've
especially.
been in the area for well over 100 years at this point. I think as we look to last year, about 1,000 people every night sleep under shelters or housing that we operate. For Seattle Social Services, the unit that I run, it's about 600 people across multiple sites.
Wow.
We do some. We operate a day center up on the other side of Pioneer Square, and then we do some street level outreach as well, where we help people find market rate housing, or refer them into places like Bread of Life or our shelter down in Soto or our shelter across from Harborview, and then we're doing some kind of cool things with King County in terms of permanent supportive housing, which is sort of the Cadillac concept of housing. So, we try to do the most good wherever we can across the continuum of needs. So all the way from day center all the way through permanent housing.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are you seeing that really like the gaps? What do we need more of?
Yeah, I think, and I would imagine it's Bread of Life Mission's experience as well, is we need more shelter. I mean, our shelters are always full.
Yeah.
And while I understand the concern about wanting to be able to give sort of a quality, full-fledged home to an individual, just the physics of that, the economics of that don't pencil out very easily, right? So I think first and foremost, let's get people off the streets into a safe, dignified space. And then from there, we can start to meet their, again, human, spiritual needs, and then start them on that path of hope and restoration.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I was saying to somebody earlier, it's like an ER, right? Like an emergency
Absolutely.
room. You've got to triage
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
and just get them in and keep them from bleeding out first,
Yeah.
and then see what else. And we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're taking them right from bleeding on the street
Mhm.
to trying to be sustainable. And
Yeah.
there's no in between.
Yeah.
We've
No.
got to have emergency beds.
It's it may be your experience too, or your observation, that if you sort of move people too far along too fast, they just kind of cycle back through, right?
Yeah.
People just it's kind of a common sense statement, but everybody's an individual, is on their own path,
Yeah.
and there's no one size fits all for everyone, right? So get them safe, start them on that path. For some, it might take years. Some it might take months, but yeah, to your point, the bottom line is getting them into a safe spot.
Yeah, it's really treating the whole person, isn't
Absolutely.
it? We are not just physical beings.
Mhm.
We're spiritual. We've got emotion. And
Amen. Yeah.
boy, is there a lot of emotion down here sometimes. But we have to treat all of those
Absolutely.
things. If we try to treat just one,
Com-
they're going to cycle right back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I often think about like the people that are going through our sobriety program. If we don't, something got them there in the first place.
Mhm.
There was trauma, all of the rest. And if we don't treat that,
Mhm.
the next time they're stressed,
Yep.
they're going right back to
Absolutely.
it. Right.
I mean, it's the old adage of, broken boys and broken girls grow up to be broken men and broken women, right? So it's really about sort of healing that child and ministering to that need. Similar to you guys, we run an adult rehabilitation program in North Seattle, completely free of charge to individuals who want to go through that program. It's 6 months. We have a fairly high success rate of kind of maintained sobriety of about 38-40%. And it's again, not a one-size-fits-all thing. The individuals that walk through their door have all kinds of needs, all kinds of traumas, and it's about ministering to every component of their woundedness. Because if you heal an arm and the leg is still injured, then the whole body suffers.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any idea at all how many shelter beds do we need to put up in Seattle to make a difference?
Yeah, I think, so for example, our Soto shelter just behind the stadium houses about 269, 270 people every night. And we're always pushing that sort of upper limit of max capacity.
Right.
I could see us easily opening up another one of those and without too much effort filling it up. So
Yeah.
I would ballpark your question at somewhere between 1.5 to 2 times.
Say the number again. So the total number
Whatever we have as a city, kind of collectively, I think we could multiply that by 1.5, or increase that by 50% to 100%.
So across the city,
Yeah,
1.5 to 2
Yeah.
times what we've got.
I think so.
That's a lot.
Because again, as you know, there's all kinds of homelessness. There's predominantly unsheltered homelessness.
Right.
But we've got the people in the vehicles that we outreach to as well.
Yeah.
You've got people who are living at relatives, couch surfing, all this kind of thing. The invisible homelessness is something, by definition, people don't take stock of. So while you might walk down one street that used to be, say, an encampment or full of tents, and it looks clear, doesn't mean the problem's necessarily gone away.
No, it's moved.
It's moved,
Yeah.
right? So I think there's a higher demand than most people realize, and a higher demand than we could serve than we are today.
Exactly. Are you guys doing anything in the fentanyl area or with addiction and?
Yeah, addiction. I mentioned our adult rehabilitation program. We just try to have the naloxone and Narcan on hand to address those. Thankfully, in our operations, extremely rare overdose situations, but I know it's still an issue that I don't know that I see kind of line of sight to an end there.
Yeah.
I think the early numbers that we're seeing are that the county is compiling is that it's the number of overdose deaths might be sort of leveling out a little bit and tapering off, but I don't think we're out of the woods by any means.
Yeah, no. There's some nasty stuff out
Yep,
there right now.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's so many ways that I could go right now. What else do you want to share?
I'm just really thrilled that Bread of Life Mission and you are doing something so incredible to give visibility to the issue of homelessness, to be able to shine a light, especially on kind of sister, brother, faith-based organizations. I know we've got quite a few of them here in town. I know you've spoken to many of them. Probably still are going to speak to some. So just applaud you for the visibility and the really kind of unique public-facing effort.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I told you, I think by email, I had a great relationship with Salvation Army back in Glens Falls, where I came from.
That's wonderful.
And I need to get to know you guys better. I've been
I'm more than
meeting
happy
a lot,
to more than happy to collaborate. And I know we bump into each other at kind of similar events. I hope that continues.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's funny since I've been with the Salvation Army for a little over 3 years now, and I'm always taken aback at how many people sort of have a Salvation Army story, right?
Right.
You know, whether it's growing up in an underprivileged kind of setting, and the only Christmas gifts I ever got were from the Salvation Army that my mom picked up, sort of thing. Or I remember when, you know, we fell on tough times, and that Salvation Army food bank is what got us through, or our adult rehabilitation programs.
They really are everywhere.
So I'm pleased to be part of an organization like ours, and I'm pleased to be collectively part of an organization like Bread of Life and City Gates. I think there's, you know, God doesn't give us more than we can bear, and I know that we can bear it a lot better when we work arm in arm together.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. He doesn't give us more than we can bear with him.
Yes, exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Sometimes it's more than we can bear without him. That's
you're
why
right.
we come to him.
That is a big amen to that. So
Well, thank you so much for being on
thank
the
you
bench
so much,
with
Kim.
me, and we'll have more conversations.
Absolutely.
Again
Stay
in the
warm,
future.
okay?
Yeah, I will try. I'll try. So we are going to be right back with Andrea Suarez from We Heart Seattle.